is the final high fidelity UI design that I did for my trading and investment mobile application. That is intense to do as your very first UX project, but it's something that I'm also more familiar with. But the issue is that looking at my project now, 2.5 months later, I realized that there's really quite a lot to work on. So for example, the high fidelity prototype with a lot of things that I really want to work on, but before I even consider touching this, I need to really look at the wireframes. It's pretty obvious that that this is kind of nonsense. Basically, I want to ensure that I communicate a lot more structure, a lot more layout, and a little bit of a clearer sense of the functionality of each screen, or how the different screens, flow with one another. So before that, I need to even have a good understanding of what my user flows and my task flows are. And it's quite obvious from what I submitted that I didn't really break down, user flows and task flows. So that's something that I am going to incorporate into my redesign. Also, what else? I do think that I do need to have a more clearly defined element list. So for example, on my dashboard, I think it's pretty clear, what my main items are, but for the other screens, it's not very clear. I think it's actually empty. So that's another thing that I need to work on. This is quite bad. And apart from that, also, I do think I need to have a lot more links to illustrate, the flows between the screens. So once again, this ties back to a lack of breakdown of the task flows and the user flows. So I definitely rushed into this a bit too much back in January. So yeah, let's just see how I rework this. I'm going to update this video and this vlog with the progress. So I'm noticing that my flow is tapering off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a cafe or maybe the gym to be productive. And then after that, hopefully get a lot more work done. I also came up with a couple of new projects to work on. One is going to be a health and fitness app. And another one is going to be more of an enterprise UI kind of project. So I'm just going to do this to really become as familiar as I can. I just want to quickly go through today's Eurodollar sales that I took today. Let me see, actually in Starbucks doing my case study when that happened, and I was a little bit kind of lazy to trade this nonsense because this is totally totally sideways stuff going on here. Not obvious based on the 15-minute and the other time frames that after yesterday's big push over here, which I actually saw but I didn't trade it, stupidly so. But it's fine. Pretty expectable for it to drop, so I did take a sell that was around here, but I did notice price was probably gonna pull back a little bit more because it just likes to do that, to extinguish all the liquidity. And once you see a move like this, you're like, okay, I'm all ready to jump in. So that's what I did just now. Once I saw this, I hopped back in. So my progress was a lot slower than I hoped. I only have one wireframe because I took a long time to do different iterations of it. This was one version and I have a few more versions because the home screen and the dashboard is one of the most important screens for this trading app, because it can pretty much make or break it based on my design thesis, or basically what I'm trying to work towards. Over here, what I've done is I have started to use variants for my bottom navigation tab or the footer. So I'm trying to use proper technique and convention to organize my design assets. So it's pretty cool. So now if I go to current variant, I can see that the first property is that this is a home icon and it's inactive. I decided to go to the gym to get productive, and I'm quite glad that they have sleeping pods over here because it's quite useful for someone like me who like kind of needs a lot of sleep, so appreciating this. And just now there was a lady who was sitting next to me at the cafe area, and she was like asking if I could like take care of her stuff for her because she needs to pee. And yeah, sure, but actually I need to like pee as well. Oh, what is this? It's a video. Friday night